Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Claudia Kane, the 2024 FPA President. I apologize for the sunnies. I'm not in the south of France. I did have eye surgery yesterday, so this is how I look, but I'm really glad you're joining us. We've got a few housekeeping items. At this point in time, all lines have been muted. If you have a comment or question, please post it to the chat area on your screen. If you don't see the chat area, click the button underneath reactions and you can find it on your screen. Questions will be answered towards the end of the presentation. We are recording today's presentation, which we will also make available in the coming days. Today's update provides an overview of the association's efforts to support our members and the profession over the past year. Today is also an opportunity to provide an update on the organization's financial health now that our 2023 audited financial statements have been finalized. Because we must wait until we have the finalized audited statements, we're also pleased to make our 2023 annual report available. You can find both the audited financial statements and the 2023 annual report on the FPA website at www.financialplanningassociation.org/about. Joining me today, we have James Lee, 2024 past president, who will be providing an overview of FPA's financial processes. Patrick Mahoney, FPA CEO, who will provide an operational update. Dennis Moore, FPA Chief Operating Officer, will provide an overview of FPA's long-term strategic plan. And Adam Kaczynski, the Senior Manager of Audit and Assurance at Wagner CPAs, who's our external auditor. He will provide an overview of FPA's 2023 audited financial statements. With that, I turn things over to Patrick Mahoney. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. I'm honored to have the opportunity to engage directly with all of you to discuss our work as your partner in financial planning. We work daily here at FPA and among our national volunteers to ensure that our association is on solid footing, and we're working to support each of you as financial planners and to continue to elevate the financial planning profession. It's helpful to begin this discussion with remembering who we are. And if we go back to our statement, we focus on our primary aim, which is to elevate the profession that transforms lives through the power of financial planning. This is why you became a financial planner. Our core member is a certified financial planner professional. Our core policy is that the CFP certification and the standards it represents constitute the foundation of the financial planning profession. And our value proposition is, as a certified financial planner professional, FPA is your partner in planning by helping you realize your vision of success with practice support, learning, advocacy, and networking. As always, membership is our top priority. While membership declined during the pandemic and the recovery years, we have begun to stabilize. With many in the profession retiring, we will continue to see individuals move into the next chapter of their lives, yet we're working hard to ensure that the next generation of financial planners calls FPA home. We value our relationships with partners like the CFP board, with whom our first-year complimentary CFP program continues to provide membership to new CFP professionals who opt into the program. And we also celebrate new group opportunities like the one we've co-created with Ameriprise Financial. Our work to enhance FPA's online experience, a dedication to top-notch education and programs, and continued partnership with our chapters demonstrate our commitment to our very valued members. We must continue, however, to drive and demonstrate value to all of our new and existing members, so they see renewing their membership as an investment in their careers as they strive to work within their chapters to serve their local communities as financial planners. FPA professional staff and our members continue to progress in our goal to identify a path to achieving the legal recognition of the title financial planner. In 2023, we held 11 virtual regional forums with chapter leaders and all member town halls, where we presented a series of questions to participants and solicited feedback from members to help guide policy development. In recent months, our Public Policy Committee and the staff that supports it have been reviewing those town halls and identifying overall themes and patterns identified in the member feedback. The Public Policy Committee and the Board of Directors will also conduct last-minute external stakeholder meetings throughout the remainder of the year. Once we complete the necessary outreach to those external stakeholders, the Board and the Public Policy Committee will review all the input collected and begin developing a potential strategy to realize this lofty objective. As we have done to date, we will share that potential strategy with our members to ensure your voices continue to be heard before anything is finalized. But I do want to stress that, as we have said since the beginning, that this is a marathon, not a sprint. We fully expect this will take several years to come to fruition, so your patience as we work through a very deliberate process is appreciated. Late last year, we announced the launch of Media Mastery 2.0, a revamped media training program that goes beyond the basics to really help you understand the nuances of getting and leveraging valuable media attention. Developed with Advisor PR, the training has several modules. The first module is free for all FPA members and walks you through what you need to know to make the most of FPA Media Source, our automated media query system. The rest of the modules are deeply discounted for FPA members and get more into the nitty-gritty of public relations, including developing compelling messaging and leveraging the media coverage that you gain. Just go to the FPA Learning Center to get started. And speaking of Media Source, the system continues to deliver exceptional opportunities for our CFP professional members to engage with journalists. Recently, the platform distributed its 8,000th query to participating members. If you're not yet a part of it, please consider doing so. The first module from Media Mastery 2.0 is your prerequisite to join other members in responding to queries from the media. Also, at the end of last year, we announced a new partnership with Tiffin Wealth to make their investment platform available to FPA members with under 100 million in assets under management for free. This member benefit aims to empower FPA members with cutting-edge tools and resources to serve their clients better while making innovative investment technology more accessible. But don't worry if you have more than 100 million in AUM, as Tiffin Wealth is offering all FPA members a considerable discount to use the software. We thank Tiffin Wealth for their partnership and commitment to helping members leverage capabilities proven to enhance client experiences and elevate investment strategies. Now I want to share an exciting new initiative we formally announced at FPA Retreat in May and recently communicated to you about. Over the past several months, FPA and Money have developed an exciting new partnership to develop the first of its kind Best Financial Planners list, empowering consumers to identify and engage real financial planners. Like FPA, the outstanding team at Money believes that financial planning should be accessible to everyone, and that financial planners play a crucial role in helping people achieve their financial goals. Unfortunately, not everyone who proclaims to be a financial planner is created equal, and it can be challenging for consumers to know whom to trust with their financial future. Together with the team at Money, we have worked to develop this initiative that will recognize financial planners who take pride in their profession and are committed to providing exceptional service to their clients. This isn't just another top of financial advisors list based on the number of clients and assets managed. Instead, it will list financial planners based on data pertaining to their specialties, experience, education, communication, how they build trust, and other typically unquantifiable factors. FPA and Money.com believe in the value of CFP certification and its role in financial planner competency, which is why this unique opportunity will only be available to FPA members who are also CFP professionals. Limiting participation to CFP professionals is also consistent with other public-facing benefits of FPA membership, including Planner Search and FPA Media Source. The list will be based on a questionnaire that will be only open to CFP professional members of FPA and will be available on or shortly after June 12th. The questionnaire will attempt to go beyond base metrics to explore critical factors central to the financial planner-client relationship. It is being informed through discussions with financial planners and empirical academic research. The data gleaned from the questionnaire will lead to the development of the list. There will be no choosing who is and who is not included in the final list. A scoring rubric will ensure the list is objectively developed based only on the data collected. We anticipate that a benchmark score will need to be met to be included in the final list. The team at Money will develop the methodology and the scoring rubric that will be used to analyze the data to determine the list. While FPA brings a deep understanding of financial planning, Money brings decades of experience in successfully developing rankings of financial service providers. Their project's lead editor has led dozens of ranking projects through a career that included a long stint at Consumer Reports. Additional consultants are supplementing with specific expertise, including an academic from one of the country's premier collegiate financial planning programs and a veteran manager and designer of research. Just because you are a CFP professional member of FPA and take the time to complete the questionnaire does not necessarily guarantee you a spot in the best financial planners list. The list will be developed based solely on the data collected, and there is no set number of financial planners who will be included. The best financial planners list will be announced at the FPA Annual Conference in Columbus this September and will be accompanied by a robust rollout campaign to celebrate those included in the list. At a time when more and more people are seeking financial advice, consumers must have a way to define who real financial planners are and how they can help. The best financial planners list will fill this gap, and uniquely, we think, by providing a standardized way to evaluate financial planners based on the qualities that matter most to their clients. While FPA will enjoy some brand recognition, this initiative has less to do with FPA and more to do with elevating awareness of the incredible work that financial planners do in our communities across the nation every day. We see this as a terrific opportunity to shine a light on financial planning as the noble profession that we know it is. The questionnaire will open on or after June 12th, as I mentioned earlier, and it'll remain open for a few weeks. While we will send you communications about the questionnaire in the coming weeks, I strongly encourage all of you to take some time to participate. If you make the final list, the visibility you will enjoy with millions of Money.com readers will be extraordinary. So keep an eye out for the communications coming soon. Finally, we are getting ready and getting excited about holding FPA Annual Conference in Columbus, Ohio, from September 18th to the 20th. For many years, FPA has hosted the annual conference to bring together financial planners, thought leaders, service providers, and allied professionals where they can connect, learn from each other, and explore how they can impact their community. And we have quite the show planned for all of you this year. Our volunteer annual conference task force has worked hard in recent months to solidify an agenda that is sure to please, including several exciting keynote speakers, among them New York Times bestselling author Daniel Pink, author of The Power of Regret, To Sell is Human, Drive, A Whole New Mind, among many others. Please consider joining us in Columbus this September. Registration is now open, which includes a significant discount of registration with our early bird pricing through the end of June. It will be time well spent with colleagues and friends. I look forward to visiting with you in Columbus. And now I will turn things over to FPA past President James Lee.
Well, thank you very much, Patrick. And I too hope to see many of you in Columbus at our annual conference. So before I introduce our external auditor, I wanted to provide a few details on FPA's fiscal governance and the work of the FPA Finance Committee. The FPA Finance Committee, which includes 6 members of the FPA Board of Directors and is led by 2024 FPA Treasurer Dan Galley, provides critical financial oversight and required checks and balances by meeting monthly to review and oversee the association's monthly financials, quarterly forecasts, and business operations. The committee provides oversight of 2 critical financial policies, the delegation of authority policy and the financial and investment philosophy statement, which includes oversight of invested reserves and financial metrics. The committee directly engages Wegner CPA, who provides attestation and tax return preparation services for FPA. And lastly, the committee governs the annual budget production process. With that, and now to walk you through the 2023 audited financial statements, I'll turn things over to Adam Kaczynski, Senior Manager of Audit and Assurance at Wegner CPAs, FPA's external auditor. Adam?
Thank you, James. And happy to be here today, especially in year 1 as the external auditor. And all the things that you're going to hear from me today from the audit process standpoint are good things and the things that you want to be hearing from your auditor on this slide. First off, just want to thank the association staff for being very conscientious about the audit process and being responsive. Year 1's always a heavier lift, and with that, it can be a little difficult at times. That was not the case for the association this year. So wanted to say thank you to them. And also too, I'll maybe just skip around just a little bit. No audit adjustments. I think that's one of the more important pieces on this slide. So the financials that Patrick and James and the rest of the crew have been relying on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. There weren't any surprises come audit time. We didn't have any adjustments to pose to the financial statements, which I think is very important. So that way they're using reliable, accurate financial information on a monthly basis. To no surprise to anyone, no difficulties encountered during the audit. So anytime we had a question, it was answered timely and no pervasive answers or unusual support provided. Then bullet point 3 is what you ultimately engage us to do as the external auditors, is to issue an opinion on your financial statements. And we are issuing an unmodified opinion or clean opinion on the financial statements of the association for 2023, which indicates that the financial statements are fairly presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. That is the highest level of assurance we can provide as external auditors. So again, all the things that you want to be hearing about the audit process. But then for the last bullet point, and arguably just as important, if not more important than the unmodified opinion on the financials, is we do not have any material weaknesses or significant deficiencies to report as part of our audit process, specifically as it relates to internal controls over financial reporting. On our end, and especially in year 1, we are required to gain an understanding of internal controls, and that thinking of the association, money's going in and money's going out, and payroll transactions are the 3 main ones. And that helps us not only design our audit procedures, but also too, if we identify a weakness in internal control, it does help us expand our samples and test those areas a little bit more. But then also we would have to report to James and Claudia and the rest of the finance committee and board, indicating that we identified a deficiency or weakness, and with that provide some recommendations. But happy to report that we do not have any weaknesses or significant deficiencies to report. So all good things from an audit process standpoint on our end. And with that, we'll move on to the next slide with the financials. And I'm briefly going to touch on the financial statements. Excuse me. So this is a snapshot in time, your statement of financial position or balance sheet as of December 31st, 23 and 2022. At 12/31/23, looking at about $5.7 million of assets compared to $3.6 million in liabilities. And just speaking in broad strokes here, any fluctuation year over year is largely driven due to timing of monies coming in, monies going out, as well as looking at investments, more favorable market conditions in 23 compared to 2022. But the real number I do want to focus on is the net assets without member restrictions near the bottom of the page, almost $2.1 million at year end. that does equate to approximately 3 months worth of expenses in your net assets at year end. So that's just taking total net assets, dividing it by total expenses and multiplying by 12 gets to about 3 months. That's the kind of the baseline for reserves that we want to see and like to see as external auditors. Certainly more is better, but being at 3 months is, you know, in a place that you want to be at as a bare minimum. And then on the next slide, we do have some trends here, and this is the association specific. So this is your total net asset position at year end for the last 6 years. And just to speak to what we're seeing with other organizations and associations in general, this trend right here is almost identical to a presentation I held last night when it comes to total net assets, seeing that pandemic dip, market fluctuation bump up, some CARES Act funding bumping net asset positions up at year end, and then also some economic downturns as well. But kind of that flatlining, I'll say, stability. I think Patrick used earlier in the presentation of the membership. Certainly seeing that in 22 to 23, as well as with more favorable market conditions. So what you see on this slide, you could probably sub that into about 90% of the clients we work with in the association space. And you're going to see very similar operating results. And then on to the next slide, which is my last slide, to briefly touch on your statement of activities or income statement for 2023. You know, overall, near the bottom, operating at essentially a break-even year. That is largely driven by the investment return for the association. But, you know, the one thing I'll speak on, and I think it was illustrated on one of the earlier slides more from a membership count standpoint, there certainly was a decrease in membership in 22 to 23. I think from a revenue standpoint, it is approximately 4%. And we are seeing a 4% variance, you know, give or take, you know, increase or decrease within our association client base right now. So what you're going through as an association and coming out of the pandemic tunnel is not unique to you. All associations are going through it. And with that, the membership dues in general is always the driver of revenue at associations, and seeing the slight dip there is leading to dips in other revenue areas as well. And it was just interesting before I turn it over to Dennis, but just to talk on the beginning of the call and talking about your industry and, you know, our industry in the CPA world going through very similar phases with boomers phasing out, the new generation coming in. How do we meet those member needs and stabilize the membership a bit? We're certainly going through it too. So you all are not alone with this transition period that you're going through. So with that, I will turn it over to Dennis to discuss the strategic plan.
All right. Thank you very much, Adam. And thank you all for joining us today to learn more about the state of your association. So Yogi Berra once famously said, if you don't know where you're going, you might wind up someplace else. And so while it's essential for any organization to develop strategic plans, set clear objectives, and identify potential pathways to reach desired outcomes, it's the art of strategic planning is where the real value is derived. And so just as Yogi amusingly pointed out that the consequence of not having a destination in mind, the strategic planning process emphasizes the importance of having a clear vision and direction, and critically actively shaping our future to ensure we end up where we genuinely desire to be. And so with Yogi's wise words in mind, I'm pleased to share an update regarding FPA's recently adopted strategic plan, meticulously developed over the last 18 months by the FPA Board of Directors and our dedicated professional staff. This strategic plan positions FPA as a pioneer in shaping the future of the financial planning profession and as your valued partner in planning. In today's rapidly evolving landscape, marked by dynamic changes and heightened competition, it has become increasingly vital for FPA to solidify its enduring relevance and impact within our membership and all our profession's constituencies. So our strategic plan outlines essential programs, initiatives, benefits, and services that FPA considers crucial to its members. It also underscores our commitment to optimizing financial and professional staff resources while maximizing revenue potential across the association. And so the FPA strategic plan is not just a document, but it's a dynamic roadmap that'll guide us on our journey of incremental success over the next 3 years, culminating in realizing our bold vision for the association in 10 years in 2034. So by 2034, FPA will be the leading membership organization and trade association for certified financial planner practitioners and allied professionals by focusing on driving maximum value through delivering unmatched practice support, learning, advocacy, and networking for practitioners and partners of all backgrounds. So at its core, our plan is a testament to our unwavering dedication to becoming indispensable partners in our members' journey to master the practice and business of financial planning. Our strategic plan revolves around 4 strategic goals, each designed to address critical aspects of our association's value proposition and mission to make FPA genuinely indispensable to our members, our partners, and the profession. And so the first, under practice support, which is meeting the evolving needs of modern financial planning practitioners and their businesses. L for learning, serving as the educational epicenter of financial planner knowledge. Advocacy, securing the legal recognition of financial planners and advancing financial literacy and wellness. And finally, N is networking, delivering the unparalleled connectivity as the hub for financial planners of all backgrounds. So these goals are accompanied by priority and secondary objectives that will serve as a foundation for our actions and initiatives in the coming years. Furthermore, our strategic plan is anchored by 6 foundational intentions, which will guide our work and underpin our journey towards success. We will embrace inclusivity to ensure that our initiatives, programs, and services reflect our members' diverse needs and backgrounds across all business models. We will seek partner integration to leverage our partners and harness complementary strengths and expertise that will lead to mutually beneficial outcomes. We will diversify our revenue to reduce financial risks while enhancing financial stability and flexibility. We will maximize our resources to optimize FPA's finances and professional staff to deliver high-quality services and amplify our impact. We will foster greater chapter collaboration to amplify the impact of our programs, drive shared revenue, and create a unified experience for members across all chapters. And finally, we will maintain mission to ensure that all of our efforts contribute cohesively to supporting and advancing financial planners. I'm incredibly excited about this journey and the journey ahead of us and the potential for FPA. As we embark on this ambitious endeavor, I'm grateful for each of you and your unwavering support and dedication to FPA and our profession. Together, we'll reach new heights and redefine the future of financial planning with FPA and its members leading the way. We do have some very detailed documents about the financial plan that will be essential, the strategic plan that will be essential for our work in the upcoming years. However, we also wanted to share a quick, simple one-pager outlining the plan's key highlights with all of you, which you can easily access that one-pager by scanning the QR code on the screen. So this is just the first of many updates that we're going to share about the progress toward making this plan a reality. And we welcome your questions, thoughts, and ideas along the way. I'm confident that the future of FPA looks bright, and I hope you agree as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to James for the remaining of our time to answer any questions that you may have. So James, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks very much, Dennis. As Claudia mentioned at the beginning of this update, the phone lines are muted, so we ask that you place any questions in the chat box. If the chat box is not open, just click on the chat icon on your screen by going to the reactions options, and we'll address those questions as they come in. I'll take questions in the chat, and we also had some questions come in ahead of time. At the present moment, there's only one question in the chat from David. Hi, David. The question is, will you be sending out the slides? And I can address that. As Ben mentioned earlier, this presentation is being recorded, and we're going to post this recording on the FPA website within the next 24 hours. Okay, not seeing any more questions coming in on the chat line, so I'll go to the questions that came in online. One of the questions is, why are dues so expensive for those of us who are forced to join a chapter in another state and can't access their events? Patrick, could you take that, please?
Sure. We regret that there's not a chapter in your state. FPA national dues cover a variety of member benefits, including learning, advocacy, networking, continuing education support, the Journal of Financial Planning, and much more. Local dues are calculated separately. Chapter dues cover the costs of participating in that chapter, many of which offer virtual benefits to their members. If your chapter does not offer virtual benefits or events, please contact us at chapters@onefpa.org. Again, chapters@onefpa.org to discuss what other chapter might be a better fit for you and other scenarios that may be available to you.
Thanks, Patrick. Let's see, Karen asks, I don't see the strategic update or plan on the website or can't find it easily. Where does it live? I believe it is on the website. I'd ask Ben if you could just post that link in the chat, please. The next question for Brad is, can anyone speak to the collaboration between the CFP board and FPA? Patrick.
I'm happy to address that. It's a very good relationship. In fact, Kevin Keller was quoted in Investment News a few weeks ago that everything between the two organizations is never better. The CEOs dialogue regularly, at least once a month. The presidents of each organization, or the chairs, if you will, establish a good relationship, and they are in constant dialogue. The president-elects or the chair-elect at CFP board, they also correspond and dialogue on the phone quite regularly. So there's a good communication up and down the field at the volunteer as well as the staff level. We're partnering with the CFP board and Ameriprise on the financial planning agenda, the contest at the annual conference. That's going forward. Lots of good stuff. We're doing very, very well. They're a great organization and a great partner.
Okay. Let's see here. Skip asks, how is our free membership offer going for the new CFP certificates? What is the retention rate once those free memberships run out? Dennis, you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So it is, yeah, it's going well. I'm sorry, I don't have the numbers right in front of me. Patrick may have that a little bit more, but we are seeing a good uptick in that complimentary membership, and retention rate is above expectations as to once those are converted after the first year and converted into a full membership. So it's a great program, not only for the new CFP professionals coming into the profession, but also an opportunity for national and the chapters to work together to welcome these new members into our association.
Thank you. Dennis, I will go to a question that came in online. Let's see here. Can you address career changers that complete an education exam, need experience hours, and want to start their own? What is FPA doing for them? And Patrick, I'll pose that question to you.
I'm sorry, which question is that, James?
Addressing career changers. They want to.
Yep. Career changers, that's a growing segment of FPA. Happy to have you. Welcome aboard. FPA Next Gen, which is the member-only community for those new to the profession, provide a variety of resources, including content, mentorship, and general support. I'd also ask you to consider the residency program that began just last week, including a large number of career changer attendees. Please contact, if you want information, an email address for you to learn more is info@onefpa.org. Again, info@onefpa.org. And then we can learn more about your specific needs and then connect you with the right resources.
Thank you, Patrick. Michael asked, membership revenues down, corporate revenues down, and event revenues down. What's different in the strategic plan that can turn that around? And Dennis, I'll go to you on that.
Sure. Thanks, James, and thanks for the question, Michael. Yeah, so that's one of the exciting things, or I'm excited about a lot of things about the strategic plan. But it's those type of questions that we're looking to answer with this collaborative and comprehensive plan. So we're looking at everything across the association, everything from the events that we provide, conferences, whatever it may be, to the practice support items that we provide to our members, and really trying to see where that value is. And then again, so if we can relay that value, grow membership, bring in more partnerships and those type of things. So it's an incremental process. As I mentioned, we've got a long runway and to try to get to where we want to be. But it's a collaboration of all those things together. I feel that's going to help us to turn that trend back around. So it's not anything one specific thing that I'll point to, but it's every piece of the pie. So the practice support, the learning, the advocacy, the networking, all factoring together to show the value that is FPA to our members and our sponsors and partners.
Thank you, Dennis. Kevin asks, what are the current year-to-date membership numbers? How many members are enrolled under the new Ameriprise partnerships rate? And how much more would revenue from dues have declined in 2023 if FPA had not increased dues? Patrick, do you want to take that one?
Sure. As of April of this year, FPA has almost 16,000 paid members and about 16,700 all in, including the 1-year complimentary folks. That retention rate is about average of 30% for the year. How many members are enrolled under the Ameriprise Partnership Program? That just got started. I know that we made the big announcement several months ago, but as you can appreciate, FPA can move a little bit faster than perhaps Ameriprise can. And they had a lot of processes and things to put into effect. But so far, so good. I mean, we're getting a lot of positive feedback with our meetings with Ameriprise. They're getting a lot of good response from their members. I'll have more to report on that in a month or two. How much more would revenue from dues have declined last year if FPA had not increased dues? I really can't answer that. I have to dig into that. I will say it had been a very, very, very long time since FPA had raised dues, and like any other organization, our cost of operations continued to increase.
Thank you. And Ray asked, to what extent should the FPA represent our interests versus the CFP board, a quasi-regulator? And Patrick, again, I'll go to you for that.
Yeah, the FPA does represent our interests. The CFP board does not necessarily have that role. Their role is one of certifying CFPs and making sure that they have programs and safeguards in place to monitor compliance, to make sure that the rigor of the CFP certification is sacrosanct. Once someone becomes a FPA member, it's our job to advocate on your behalf, which is what we do. From a variety of different perspectives, a big push right now, in addition to title protection, is financial literacy. Lots of different bills. There's one in California that's perking up as we speak. To answer your question, you're in the right place. FPA represents your interests exclusively as a practitioner.
Thank you. Mac asked, mentorship was mentioned as it relates to NextGen. Is there a general mentorship framework that exists at the national level that can be adopted at each local level? Are there other value add propositions like a mentorship program that add to membership retention? Patrick, do you want to answer that one?
Yes. We don't have one per se. That's been brought up several times from the NextGen community. We haven't adopted it at the national level in a formal program. We have shades of that with example, that's really, it happens at the chapter level when you think about it. Because when you join at the chapter level, you're meeting people like you who are either starting up businesses or running businesses like yours. And that's the primary focus of mentorship. There was talk a while back of developing a national database to accomplish the same thing. But at the end of the day, the chapters felt that that was a unique advantage of belonging to a chapter. And that's kind of where that's at the moment. But I'm happy to explore that further if you want to give me a call.
One that came in online is actions and plans to strengthen interest of international financial community, financial planning community to join FPA and its initiatives. Can you speak to that, Patrick?
Sure. We're a very proud home to the FPA International Cross-Border Knowledge Circle, where many of our international community members find their peers. As our profession grows to a global footprint, so does our focus. We will continue to build education and content focused on the needs of this community. FPA values its international community partners and is developing membership recruitment plans to increase membership in this area. If you have any ideas, we'd love to hear from you. I have another email address for you, and that's communities@onefpa.org. Again, communities@onefpa.org.
Lucas asked, there's no mention of state or local chapters in the strategic plan. Where do you see their involvement? Dennis.
Yeah, thanks, James, and thanks for the question, Lucas. So obviously the chapters, both local and state chapters. I mean that's what makes up FPA. It's the members. It's our association, your association, all of us together. And so one of the 6 foundational intentions that I mentioned is about making sure that we foster greater chapter collaboration to make sure that we have that impact to all of our programs, driving sharing revenue, creating a shared experience for all of our members across the chapter. So across the association. So absolutely, chapters are very much part of this strategic plan as we work through it and move this association together forward.
Thank you, Dennis. Patrick, is FPA developing curriculum and or processes to satisfy IARCE requirements by state regulators?
We are indeed. We have partnerships with notable IARC providers who have a deep knowledge and experience with various state NSAA requirements. In addition to that, we did a partnership deal with kitsis.com where they provide you register with them, they issue the CE that you need to know or need to have. And in addition to that, there is an incentive of a rebate back to your chapter based upon how many folks from your chapter register and attend. It's a very nice deal for our FPA members. And of course, Michael's very invested in the success of FPA. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Thanks, Patrick. We have just 1 minute left, but so Stacy asked, chapter collaboration was mentioned as a focus in the strategic plan. Can you elaborate on what you all envision on a national level that will help promote this effort? Dennis, I think you spoke to this a little bit, but do you want to address it in a little bit greater detail?
Yeah. Just and I know we're running short on time, so just a quick example of how we're already engaging chapters in this is through the advisory council. So every chapter has a representative on the advisory council, and at CLC, the Chapter Leadership Conference, we had a meeting with the advisory council there to go through the strategic plan and get some feedback and kind of have that feedback loop and conversation. So that's just one example, but a really important one to us as we move forward, just the role the advisory council plays in our path forward in this journey. So, and of course, more to come, but yeah, very important for us there.
Thank you, Dennis, and thank you all for all your really important questions. And of course, we as volunteer leaders and the staff are always available to field questions and concerns, so please don't hesitate to reach out. So with time wrapping up, I'll turn things back over to Claudia to wrap up today's State of FPA Virtual Update. Claudia?
Thank you, James. Yeah, well, obviously we're running out of time because we have so much to cover, but as Dennis just said, it is really important that we maintain the communications with our chapters and with our members. I'm a big fan of our advisory council. I encourage you to reach out to your advisory council representative. They really are the link between national and the chapters and the individual members. So you've got the email addresses that Patrick gave you. You've got your advisory council. Don't hesitate to reach out. Obviously, we couldn't get to everybody's questions, but again, most importantly, thank you for being here. We really appreciate your time. The FPA Annual Report and audited financial statements are online as well. There will be a recording of this meeting if you want to go back and review it. And one last plug, I hope to see you in Columbus, Ohio, September 18th to 20th. I'm a big fan of our annual conference. I love seeing friends from past days gone by and getting together and learning things in the hallways. So again, thank you very much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in Ohio. Thank you for making FPA your partner in planning. Bye for now.